it actually means.
Okay.
Is there a compilation of the totals of those stats, or, you know, I mean, at the bottom, does it give the totals of what was, how many of what?
Not for August through September.
No, it just tells you what crimes have been reported. And then the other
The
sheet,
year-to-date
Give that
has some
the violent
totals, but
felons that
that's,
have occurred.
that's beyond district, right?
That's the entire city.
That's the entire city. Okay.
Yeah. So like in 2017, there were 29 homicides. In 2018, there were 27 homicides to this date. And then today, to this date, in 2019, there's 22 homicides. So homicides have decreased in this city year to date. So if that interests you, we can bring that on a monthly basis.
There's no way that you can sort of, what's the word I'm trying to use, compress for this particular association's area? There's no way you can compress? Or,
Well,
yeah, target would be a good.
that would.
So we have to just go through and look at the addresses and highlight the ones that fall within the boundaries, but that gives you an idea of kind of everything right here. That's our patrol area, and that's how our department breaks it down by patrol districts. They don't break it down smaller than that, so we don't have a way to do that unless we just went through and just showed the ones for this area. This area we don't have a lot. It's pretty good. The biggest issues we have is the drinking down there at 13th and Washington. Like, we go down there, we've been arrested. Anybody with an open container, we're going and arresting. We're tired of people walking around just drinking, throwing their cans on the side of the road just in the middle of the daytime. It looks bad. There's kids walking back and forth from school, and there's just people standing there drinking. So we've been arresting a lot of people for we issue citations, but for public, for drinking in public, we've been really kind of focusing on that at Big 11 and down at 13th by the liquor store. There's people that were starting to congregate in that empty lot next to it. We think we ran them off. And then there's a vacant house that a bunch of people are hanging out at, but we got that with codes. We've kind of tagged that, trying to get the house cleaned up and all the drinking and possible prostitution and stuff that's been going on there cleaned up. So really, the biggest issue we have is just kind of just some of the just the quality of life issues with the people walking around, not really. They're just hanging out all day and not really doing anything but drinking. So we're just we're like, if you're gonna drink, go home and drink. Just don't be doing it out here where everybody can see you. It just doesn't look right. So, yes, ma'am.
On one of the sheets, it says other, something that doesn't go into any of the categories, so that has battery and this, that, the other.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it would just be,
Just
if there wasn't a specific crime that fit in there, just include everything else.
And that doesn't include just the individuals that you might just stop, write down information and talk to.
This is like state,
reports.
I think those are just gonna be, if it's state statutes, those would just be reported felonies if it's state statutes. In fact, I mean, if you have more specific questions that when you look at it, we could kind of break it down and explain what that means if you have a specific question about something on there. But most of those are gonna be state statutes. A lot of the misdemeanor crimes that we have, you're gonna have a lot of like license plate thefts, petty thefts, graffiti or criminal damage. You'll have a lot of domestics, things like that. A lot of those things won't show up on those. Not saying that that's not an issue, those are big issues, but this is just probably more felony crimes that they're keeping track of.
The shootings are just ridiculous. And it's got that was 3 weeks ago, that was my grandson that got killed on parallel. But I told my granddaughter, why was he out at 11 or 12 at night? He goes to school. He lived in Grandview. I said, what was he doing over here? Riding in the car. He was the one that got in the back seat of the car that got hit and killed.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
So sorry.
Yeah, and I said, it happens that there ain't nothing you can, it's nothing, because it's out there.
How old is it?
It's out there everywhere. Them young got those guns and they killing up each other like they're just crazy. Did it?
How old was your grandson?
Huh?
How old?
17?
Yeah, the father
instances in 5 weeks, people been killed
Hmm.
around me. That little girl, the first Friday, was standing right beside me when she got shot.
It's everywhere, it's just, you know, it's all over. Yeah.
Out of control.
Especially if you're looking at 4 or 5. It's just,
Any program, I've had 2 guys who just got out of penitentiary, who's come by my shop in the last couple of days. Both of them are on the streets. Best way to get them back in the penitentiary is put them back on the streets. Isn't there some type of halfway house or something?
I'll give you a phone number.
Thank you.
You should also check the Village Initiative.
Pardon me?
The Village Initiative,
I don't know nothing. I've got
that's what I'm
a
saying,
copy.
write it down, the
Okay,
Village
yeah.
Initiative.
I'll try it down for you.
Yeah, on 27th and Quindaro. They help people that are coming back and returning citizens. Really great.
This one said that if he gets back in Wichita before 8 o'clock the next morning, he's gonna go back to prison. And I thought, he was even wearing his prison uniform. Claimed.
Can you tell me more about that? Place up there?
The Village Initiative?
Mhm.
Yeah, they provide services for returning citizens, and so everything from, reacclimating out of institutionalization to finding a job, gaining employment. I believe they provide housing services. They also run a kids' kitchen, and I think they serve something like 300 meals a day in partnership with USD 500. But their main focus area is for reentry. It's on North 27th, 3004 North 27th Street.
Right there on the corner.
Nice.
And I'm gonna put their phone number on there as well. And Chanel or Selena there should be able to offer some supports.
I get them come up to me all the time. One was gonna kill himself a few
About a
weeks
year.
ago. And I actually put him in the car and took him to the hospital.
Yeah,
And, it's like, I understand. 22 years of your life in prison.
it's a really great program. I'm not exactly sure how long they've been active. I know for at least a couple of years.
Well, we went to, it may have been a couple of years, but I mean, we went to the grand opening, that was last year.
Well, I had a rally, they had a
Yes, that's what it was.
Neighborhoods Up rally last year, but they've been operating longer than that, I believe.
Thank you
It's
very much.
Treasurer Price, original.
That's all we have.
I failed to mention, anybody want to give a donation or pay their dues, City Hall? And also, we have fresh vegetables from the garden, tomatoes and okra, if anybody want any, they're over there on the table for you to eat.
I've got some pawpaws outside. I'll bring them in. They're ripe and you can eat them now. If you want to eat them all.
What's a pop?
What's the pawpaw?
It tastes like a banana. I'll bring them in here. I've got 15 more gallons at the shop I picked out the last 2 days. These come from the district attorney. A friend of mine in the DA's office gave me these. These need to be eaten very quickly. Do not eat the seeds, because you'll die. You know?
You can keep
Say that
that.
first. Say that first.
Seriously, they use the bark of the pawpaw tree to cancer treatment. They really do. So I actually chew on a tree limb most of the time when I'm cooking pawpaw. I'll go get them in a minute. You can try 'em. If you want more, my shop's in Ortiz Estate, come by and get them. I actually sent a box to a woman in Tennessee I've never met, cost me $11. I'm not gonna do that no more. I'm getting people from all over the country ask me to send them pawpaws. But at $11 every time I send a box, I can't
So are
afford
they
that.
banana looking things?
Pardon me?
What do they look like?
I'll show you. I'll go get them in a minute.
That's
He's gonna go
okay.
get them.
Have you had them?
No, I've heard of them though. They grow down there by the Quindaro Creek.
I'm addicted. I actually save all the seeds, and my property is full of them now. I take them and I throw the seeds everywhere, and 3 or 4 years, there's pawpaws. When you hunt them, matter of fact, a police officer 2 or 3 years ago out at Wyandotte County Lake come up on me, and they wanted to, I had a pirate in my truck, had a rope around his neck, and it was hung in my shop. Somebody said there was a dead man in my truck. 2 cops come out. I go out, and they realize it was a pirate. I got back out there. They went out in the woods. These cops were out there hunting pawpaws with me. But you don't look up because they'll give you a black eye. You just shake the tree and.
These are kind of dangerous fruit.
They kill you if you eat them. You gotta fry them to the exact temperature before you can kill them. gotta feel it from the bottom.
They knock you out while you're trying to pick them.
I got a bunch of whole big thing of mushrooms yesterday. Several
How do you
of them.
spell that?
Pawpaw, P-A-W. You ever know picking up pawpaws, putting them in a basket?
Yeah,
That's-
see, they used to just grow in, you know, before they did it in the South Pacific.
Yeah,
They
the
not no
tree-
pawpaws over here.
The song said the tree is too high to climb and stuff.
I got so many
They
pawpaws.
eat them, it don't
That's
bother
like a
them,
shake.
it don't bother them, but,
Because
I did
best.
You let go of the seed.
We had pie with a noose around.
Definitely don't bury the
Everybody
lead.
says They're delicious. You can make bread out of them, you can make pudding, you can just do all kinds of things.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Make wine. The district attorney, Kent Maple, makes wine out of them, and it's good.
Effective.
Wine
effective.
He gives me wine, and I give him pawpaws.
Okay, we have our guest speaker here, Miss, tell everybody who you are.
I'm Nancy Burns. Hi, I'm your register of deeds here in Wyandotte County, and I'm here to visit with you about what our office does. I've been in office since 2011. My big focus was on customer service, and I think that's very important. I do not have a recorder where you press 1 or 2, you get a person on the other end. I won't have that because I know the frustration of press 1 for this and 2 for that. So you will get a live person when you call my office. Chester called me and asked me to come. He says, now bring stuff that's important to us. And I go, okay. So what I'm going to tell you a little bit about our office, we do not do the deeds. We do not prepare any documents. We file all the documents that come into our office. We cannot do that legally because, for instance, if you brought in a deed, something to me and says, I want you to fill this out, and we're not doing what you wanted to do, then I can get in trouble. Statutorily, I cannot do that. I can just file the documents. But I'm here to tell you a little bit about our documents, and the ones that I think are really, really important is, one is the transfer on death deed. What that is, and I have some information, is if you own your home and it is not in joint tenancy or it's not in a trust, it could end up in probate. You do not want that. You want to be able to do your transfer on death deed and whoever you would like it to go to. Either that or put it in a trust, because we don't see, the trustee will make the decision of what to do with the property once you are gone. I've seen a lot of people come into our office and they go, well, I've been living in my parents', but I want it in, they're both gone and I want to put it in my name. And they've been paying the taxes and everything, and unfortunately, I have to tell them it's still in their names and there is no transfer on death deed and it wasn't put in a trust. So now you'll have to have it probated. Probate costs, if anybody's had probate a property, it's around $2,000 or $3,000 to do. So, a $21 transfer on death deed or a deed putting it into a trust is $21. So, you decide whether you want to do the $2,000 or $3,000 or the $21. So, I have information about that. Our documents go back to the 1800s. I brought some just old documents that we have books, probably hundreds and hundreds of books. And there's a lot of them like this. Now it's all computerized. All our documents come through a lot of e-filing. You can just pass that around. E-filing, which means they come through the internet into our office. So 60% of my documents are filed by e-file, which is great because we can reject it and send it right back through however it gets back there. Don't ask me how it gets through that and back to them. But anyway, it's great. It's been a lot of cost savings as far as staff and keeping that down to a minimal of people in my office doing that e-filing. And the return is really quick. It goes back out. I also want to answer any questions there are deeds and joint tenancy deeds, and there's regular deeds. I brought some, and I'm just gonna leave them with the president. I ran some copies off. I usually don't do this, but I decided to do that. There's transfer on death deed is what is on my website, but I did bring some blank ones. And if you need to know anything about your property, is it in joint tenancy, or is it just a general one? Because you can call our office, we'll be glad to look that up for you. But if it is not in joint tenancy or a transfer on death deed, then, or in a trust, try and do something with that. It's really important. Joint tenancy means it's, for instance, if I was married to you, you are my husband and wife, joint tenancy on a deed means that if anything, and with the right of survivorship, means that it would transfer over to me upon your death, and you would be able to just file a death certificate, it would go into my name. So just make sure all of that's done. I think that's real important. We also, to protect your property, I have a free, believe it or not, things are free. These are property fraud alerts. I don't know if I brought them the last time I was here, and it's, I think you told me it's been probably, about 4 years since I've been here. And that's probably about right. But we have property fraud, and it's free. What this does is protects your property. If anybody does anything in my office, you will be notified. So for instance, you paid your house off, and you get a release of a mortgage, and that you might be notified saying there has been action taken in our office on my property. You feel free to call and say, you know, I got a notice that something's going on with my property, could you tell me? And, but it's free, so I will leave those things with you, as many as you want. Sign up if you want to. I also brought, if you're military, I brought some little discharge things for you to keep your military papers in, and